So there's one final story that I wanted to go through, and that's the story of Babes Wodumo and what's happened after Mampincha's untimely death. So it's titled Babes Wodumo Drowns in Debt After Mampincha Death. South African musician Babes Wodumo is reportedly drowning in debt after Mampincha's death. Babes Wodumo is said to have fallen on hard times, and her late husband, Mampincha, reportedly left her with nothing. According to a close source, Mampincha left Babes Wodumo with a lot of debts, and since his death, they have been accumulating. He left her in a lot of debt. Luckily, they own the house, but the debt has accumulated, said the close source. Apparently, Mampincha was the one who was handling the finances in their marriage, and now that he is dead, Babes Wodumo has found herself in serious debt, as she has no clue how Mampincha was handling their finances. He was managing all the finances of the business and household. These people met when Babes was very young. He's always been guiding her and taking care of the money, but now she has to manage everything on her own. She is in serious debt, the source revealed. According to the Showmax publication, Babes Wodumo apparently moved in to stay with her immediately after Mampincha's death as a means of cutting costs, since she is the breadwinner in her family. They left their home in Elamont and moved in with her. She needed support from her parents to be able to deal with Mandla's death, but to also be able to cut costs on bills. Phela, she is the one supporting her parents and the breadwinner at home. It made financial sense for them to move in with her. The house is big enough. The Wololo hitmaker is said to be taking as many bookings as possible to make ends meet. So this is obviously a sad story, and I'm not bringing it up because I like Babes. I think she's so talented, and not to mention she's just so cute to look at. A little rough around the edges, but I mean, who am I to judge? But I really do like her, and I really am saddened for her loss. I mean, it can't be easy losing your husband that young. No matter their relationship was difficult, I didn't understand it. I don't lie about that. But the reason I think that this is a story or it's something that we as black people can learn from is, if it's true, I don't know if it's true, but let's work on the assumption that it's true, even though I hope it isn't. It says a lot about black wealth in this country. There's the American stat that black wealth doesn't last beyond a generation. So if your parents are rich, the likelihood is that as the generations go down, so you might have more than them, but your children will have less than you, and so it goes. And for an example, look at the fact that James Brown was the first black man to own a private jet in America. And right now his children are busy trying to scrounge up whatever of his wealth they can, because he died virtually, obviously not penniless, but he died with a lot less money. And that's just because of the way that the system is set up. And the fact that Mampincha was at the level he was at for as long as he was at, and his wife could be struggling just a couple of months after his death, it speaks to a lot of how we view money, and a lot regarding the issues we might have with being able to hold on with it. Because I know that a lot of people think black people are bad with money, or black people can't make money, or what. That's absolute rubbish. These guys are touring musicians. There is a lot of money in music. So there has to be something which is fundamentally wrong with the system when a woman is struggling to make ends meet a mere, 4 months after her husband passed away, and this woman is a successful musician in her own right. I don't know their spending patterns. I don't want to pretend I do. But Mabinja was the creme de la creme of the South African music scene. You mean to tell me there was no money? But also, and equally as important, I think that for women it is imperative that you be involved in whatever financial discussions are going on in your house. I think it's vitally important because it stops situations and scenarios like this. As the article said, they did get married young. But I think as black people, we need to start looking at what constitutes wealth and how we actually exhibit that wealth, first of all. But secondly, and much more importantly, how we maintain it. Because as we understand, South Africa isn't in black hands. South Africa has a black face, but it is most assuredly run by white capital, and it serves white capital. So I hope Babes is okay. I hope that this is a rumor, and I hope that it's unfounded. But even whether it is or not, my point is just with regards to the state of black wealth and black money making. Mabinja's been in this industry for years, and I do not understand his estate being in debt so soon after he's died. And I know how an estate works. I know that this doesn't necessarily mean that this is a long-term issue that they'll be having. But what usually happens when someone dies in estate law is the fact that there's usually a preliminary amount which will allow the widow and especially the child to be able to live. So I would be very interested in knowing why that isn't the case with someone who I would assume to be of Mabinja's financial capacity, which I don't know, admittedly. But when an estate is late, which means that the person has passed away, which means the estate has to be wrapped up and redistributed, usually there's an amount which is made available for the widow to take care of the children, because the main priority will be that child. So I'm very interested in why this doesn't seem to be the case here. Anyway, let me know what you think, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.